Minerva. Minerva was the Witch of Wrath. She formally debuted in Arc 4 as a supporting character. Following her death 400 years ago, Echidna collected her soul and brought it to the sanctuary along with the other witches. Throughout Arc 4, she and the other witches helped Subaru accept himself and change his views on return by death. After the arc, her soul was transferred into a crystal and she is currently traveling with Omega. Minerva was a beautiful young woman who stood at exactly 5 feet tall. She has been noted to have been in her late teens years and had vivid slightly slanted sky-blue eyes that were almost transparent. Her long gleaming golden hair was tied into a messy ponytail on the left side of her head that rubbed against her face. A pretty pink and blue love heart pin was also fastened to the left side of her head. She had bountiful breasts and a shapely bottom that lent her a fair deal of sex appeal in the eyes of Natsuki Subaru. Her primary outfit consisted of an extremely short sleeveless form-fitting one-piece purple dress with a cleavage displaying cutout, a translucent sleeveless light purple bodysuit worn under all of her clothes, a pair of thigh-high white boots with purple interior, a pair of long white gloves with purple interior, and a long white sleeveless coat with a cleavage displaying cutout that allowed a part of her dress-covered breasts to spill out. Personality. Minerva didn't like conflict as she always lamented it while healing people. She also only cared about what was in front of her, stating that she didn't care about what she couldn't see, such as the side effects of her ability. She was seen being prideful of her work, and often acted very hostile by punching people out of nowhere or scolding them for putting their lives in danger. However, her adorable way of doing so and the notion of helping, made it impossible for people to get offended by her actions. She often mistook her sadness for anger and/or wrath, using it as an excuse for crying. Her outbursts of anger were described as being very adorable. She hated the world for making people do despicable things and hurting other living beings. Due to her naive personality, Minerva was said to be extremely easy to fool. According to the author, no one in Re-Zero is as easy to fool as Minerva. History. At some point in her life, Minerva came into contact with and absorbed the witch factor of wrath. The witch factor within her eventually blossomed into the authority of wrath, a power that allowed Minerva to heal a person's wounds by striking them. As the possessor of the witch factor of wrath, Minerva was counted among the witches of sin, a collection of people who wielded the 9 witch factors that each correlated to one of the deadly sins. Due to her witch factor and her connection to the witches, Minerva became known as the Witch of Wrath. In the past, people in the world around Minerva were constantly fighting, which greatly angered her. Eventually, she realized that crying wouldn't solve anything and decided to train herself in order to gain enough power to be a deterrent to fighting, though that still didn't change anything. As she fought, she came to understand that she'd been crying out of rage and not sorrow, causing her to start punching people, resulting in their wounds being healed. From that moment on, she traveled the world to heal people wherever she found people in need. Many nations sent troops after her, trying to capture and/or defeat her, but no one was able to successfully catch her. Minerva also has some kind of history with Emilia or her family lineage, as she cared deeply about Emilia, though nothing has been confirmed as of the latest web novel chapter or light novel volume. It is claimed that over 400 years ago, someone used a larger group of elves as collateral damage in order to get Minerva trapped. The elves were sent as a suicide squad, and in order to save them, Minerva ran to their rescue and fell under the influence of said trap, where she eventually went mad and subsequently died by the hands of the Witch of Envy. Echidna later located and collected her soul, allowing Minerva to manifest in Echidna's Castle of Dreams, alongside the other witches of sin that had perished 400 years ago. Abilities. Authority of Wrath. Fundo no Ken no Minerva is able to use the Authority of Wrath. Minerva's Authority of Wrath allowed her to drain mana directly from the soul of the world to forcibly rewrite cause and effect, making her capable of healing anyone or anything. To activate the power, Minerva had to strike, e.g. punching or headbutting, the target with a part of her body. She could also use projectiles to administer her striking aid. Although she was never able to demonstrate it, Minerva's authority was capable of overcoming the divine protection of the death god used by Teresa van Istria. Her power was able to undo the damage done by Typhon's Authority of Pride. As the downside, Minerva was unable to deactivate her healing properties, meaning any form of attack she made would heal a person even if she didn't want it to. Even projectiles thrown by her were unable to harm another person. The properties of her power meant she couldn't even kill an insect by stepping on it, meaning she literally couldn't hurt a fly. She was still able to harm others indirectly by causing environmental damage, e.g. using her strength to cause a rockslide to fall on top of enemies. However, the author has stated that as long as it was an action taken by Minerva it would have the same outcome. This ability had the side effect of taking mana from random places in the world, causing natural disasters to occur, effectively making it so she killed many more people than she saved.
If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.